We're getting a little political today. My guest is everywhere. I'm talking everywhere. You think I'm everywhere? She is everywhere, and for great reasons. Areva Martin is here and breaking into next.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
That's right. We're asking questions today. We're going to have questions and answers. That is my song. You can hear it on SoundCloud. Welcome to Breaking Into here on Black Hollywood Live. I'm your host, James Law Jr. We're going to get down a little bit because it's a Monday. It is hot here in the city. It is hot, hot, hot. But I'm happy to be hot inside the studio today, too. I have a great guest. I've been trying to get on this show for a while, but she's a little busy. She's got some things going on. Besides her show, Face the Truth, we're going to talk about Vivica Fox and all that. I worked with her on a movie. She's great. But Face the Truth, she's on there. But she also has been on things, you've seen her, on things like Dr. Phil, The Doctors. She did a couple seasons of The Doctors.
Yes.
I've seen her. I actually saw her recently on my friend Shirley Ralph's show, Divas.
Yeah.
No, I saw on that one. You were good on that. That was a good
I
good
love
interview.
Cheryl. Yes. She's awesome.
One of the nicest people.
Yes.
Like, and one of the most real people out there.
Absolutely love her.
We're going to talk about autism. We're going to talk about Black Twitter. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. And her book, which I have, Make It Rain. Okay, Make It Rain is her book. It's one of her many books she has. She has other books, too. Areva Martin's in the house. Hi, Areva.
Hey, James. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I'm so glad. I'm so honored to have you on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love coming to the studio. I love spilling the tea with, the great host on Black Hollywood Live. So this is my first time with you.
Yes.
So I know it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time, girl. So now follow us on YouTube, SoundCloud, on iTunes, Black Hollywood Live Breaking Into. I have like 130 shows, almost 4 seasons of the show. Go there, check out some great people on there. People from like Todd Bridges to Tony Basil to, all kinds of people on the show. So you want to listen to any of those or watch those. And this will be on there too with the Areva after this is done. Okay, girl. First of all, congratulations. This book came out, last year?
Yes, March of 2018,
Yes.
And it is a national bestseller.
Yes, it is.
It hit the top of Amazon the first day it came out in pretty much, 10 or 11 different categories. I have a ton of positive reviews, and I got to tour the country and meet all kinds of amazing people talking about how they find their authentic voice and how they make it rain in their own lives. So I've been really happy.
Yes, it's how to use the media to revolutionize your brand and your business and brand, which I think is so important. People need to know how to do that to be effective.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, maybe even 10 or so ago, people thought of brands as big companies. It was Kleenex and Clorox. Those were brands. Everybody wasn't a brand. But now we all, individually, no matter what you do, if you touch a computer, you're creating a digital footprint and you're a brand. And you've got to know how to manage that. So this book is about helping you kind of figure out what that brand is. And then once you know what it is, what do you do with it?
It's a good read, folks. She gives you actual tangible things to look for, to strategies to work on. Because you're right. I always tell, when I have actors on the show, I'm like, well, you're a brand. You're a business.
Yeah, you are.
Singers, you're a business.
Everybody.
It's like everybody. You're an analyst. You're a business. Like, you're right. It's no more this big kind of like huge businesses. Now it's like you're the business. So now how do you get yourself out there to be successful?
And how do you protect that brand? Because we know it's so easy for people. And we've seen, all kinds of examples of that where people do things and you're thinking like, okay, why did you do that? Like that's, beneath the brand, or you do something that tarnishes the brand. So once you become, once you get in touch with the fact that you are a brand, this book helps you, figure out how to way to expand that platform and really get to have an impact and influence on things that are important to you. We're going to talk about Autism Awareness Month. For me, I use my brand, my platform to raise awareness about autism, to raise money for autistic causes, and to really help elevate, the social justice issues that are associated with, individuals with disabilities, whether it's autism or any other developmental or physical disability. So once you figure out that brand, figure out how to use it for good for other people beyond just yourself.
You're speaking my language, girl. I've been on the show, and that's why I do the show. I try to showcase people who have actually want to affect change in the world.
Yeah, It's because, to whom much is given, much is expected. And if you have the privilege, the honor to have a platform and the people do listen to you, you got to be saying something that's important and using that voice and that platform to really help, people who don't have a voice. And that's what I get to do every day. And I'm so honored and so privileged when I get to talk about things that impact people, real things that impact people, their real lives. And that's what we do on Face the Truth. That's why I've had a blast this season on Face the Truth. If you haven't seen it, tune in on CBS, check it out. Your local listing, figure out, where it's playing. Usually it's a lead in, particularly if you're in one of the major markets, New York or LA, we lead into Dr. Phil.
Yeah, yes.
But
who you know, of course.
Yeah.
Well, and who did the forward to the book.
Who did the forward to the book. And I've worked with Dr. Phil for a number of years now. And this show, Face the Truth, people say, well, what is it? And I tell them, it's a kind of a Dr. Phil meets The View. Because, it's a panel show, so there's a panel of dynamic women, but we're tackling real life issues that people have, conflicts that they have, whether it's husband, wife, mother, daughter, friend to friend. And we did some great shows near the end of our season before we took a hiatus where we face the truth on your insecurities and face the truth on your jealousies. So we got to do some fun stuff.
So now, so first of all, we're showing a picture of it right now. Women can work together, right?
Women can work together, women can get along, women can empower each other. And, people ask me, so this is a great question. Yeah. So I was at a party, Christmas time, and someone says, okay, Areva, just me and you here, girlfriend. Just give me the deal. What is it like working with 4 other women? Our executive producer is a woman. The executive producer over that executive producer is a woman. Wow. Most of the associate and senior producers. It's a lot of women on our set every day that we tape. And she's like, what is that like? Who doesn't like who? Who snaps at who? And I said, you know what? I'm gonna be real honest with you. And I've been an employer pretty much all my life. Yeah. So this has been kind of new for me because I'm not the boss. I'm a co-host. I'm talent on the show. But I have to say that this cast is so in sync. We all come from different backgrounds, but we have gotten along. We don't have that backfighting, that, stuff that people think of when they think of women working together. And I'm really proud of that. And I got to give a lot of props to my girl, Vivica. I never worked with Vivica. I just met her. Okay. Well, I take that back. I met her several years ago, but just briefly. I was on a segment with her on a show. But working with her on a daily like this is the first time. And she is down to earth. Yeah, she's real. She's genuine people. She's good people. No drama. Yeah. I mean, we don't have drama. People come to our show at 6 in the morning. We report at 6:30, and we come to work. We come to put it in, get it in. And so it's been good.
I was with Vivica on a movie that's coming out this Christmas, and she was very down to earth, very beautiful. Also, is a beautiful person, inside and out.
Inside and out, absolutely.
But I say that because I'm tired of this narrative. I've had people on the show who are women who work together, who produce together. Like, women can work together just like men can work together. There's men who can't work together. there's no gender difference.
No, and I think that's a myth. It's a negative stereotype that sometimes, it's been disseminated and it follows women. And it's unfortunate. And I hope today this conversation starts to break down that narrative.
Yes.
And, dispel of that narrative that somehow women, that we're naturally competitive with each other and we can't get along. I'm going to be looking at your hair and your outfit and checking out your shoes and, wondering, how you're doing vis-a-vis me. But I love on our show, everybody comes to the project, comes to the show, and they contribute, from their area of expertise, their background, their life experiences, their real experiences, and we respect that they're different. And that's what makes the show good, is that they complement each other. And it's not about, me comparing myself to the person on my right or my left, but, being my authentic self and then supporting, the people that I get to work with every day.
Now, you are an award-winning attorney.
Yes.
Now, but did you know when you were an attorney that this world of entertainment and infotainment and analytics, did you know it was going to be part of your life?
Didn't have a clue, James.
Okay.
Just keeping it real.
Right, no, right.
No. I graduated law school and I wanted to change the world. I wasn't going to be this civil rights crusader.
Yes.
I was going to help the little man. I had grown up poor in the housing projects and I didn't like all the inequities that I saw in my community, and I thought I would use the law in a traditional civil rights way, like Thurgood Marshall, I'd be in court. I'd be, litigating those big, important, landmark civil rights cases that, people talk about and write about.
Yeah.
So I got to do a little of that
Yeah.
before my career took this kind of hard right. But, the beauty of what I get to do now, I still get to have that impact that I thought I would have in the courtroom.
You do.
But in some ways, it's even larger because when I was a traditional litigator, I could help you. You come in my office, you're my client. I go to court, we win. We're great. But now, when I get to sit, on a show and we're talking about the inequities that exist in our criminal justice system, and we're talking about, police brutality and how African Americans are treated differently in our criminal justice system. I'm having an impact on a national, international conversation, and hopefully helping to shape policy and help the way people think about some of these important issues. So I got there just a little different route than I had envisioned.
Which happens because sometimes we think, I'm gonna get difference. I go into a certain profession.
Yep.
They think that's going to be it. But then I guess you said yes to things.
I said yes. I said yes. I said, I'm open. Yes. And I tell people, don't be afraid.
Right.
I give a lot of speeches. And, it's
I know
Women
you do.
History's Month in March. So I gave a couple of Women History Month speeches to groups of female leaders. And that's one of the things I talk about. Be flexible. Be agile. You started at this company and you thought you were going to be the head engineer. But an opportunity comes along for you to get out there and work in the sales department or, to work in some other department. Don't be afraid to get out of that comfort zone because you never know what you might find and discover something about your abilities, your skills, what you like, you dislike.
I agree.
And I believe we can. I love this age and this era that we live in because we don't have to be in those boxes.
Not anymore.
We get to do 5, 6, 7 different things. We don't have to just be that lawyer or be that banker. You can be the lawyer that works on TV, that runs a nonprofit, that loves fashion, that gives fashion. You can do all of that. And that's what's so great, I think, about the time.
That's what I said. You work.
I work. I love it.
But you seem like you're really enjoying yourself. Like you said, you're saying it just now, but I see it when I watch you. You're really enjoying yourself. You're having a good time.
Yeah, and when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. And I hope this book and the work that I do on TV and the work that I do through my nonprofit, I try to inspire people, find your passion. And I just was at a speech yesterday. The great Congressman Elijah Cummings was in town, and I went to hear him at it was kind of this intimate conversation with Congressman Cummings. And he said, let your passion fuel your purpose. And he talked about how he found his passion and how his passion, really fueled the purpose that he's now living out in the Congress. And so, those words really resonated with me. So, anybody out there, if you're wondering why you're not fulfilled every day, look at, are you really living out your true passion?
I found my passion at 40. So 10 years ago.
Love it. And see, that's a myth too. People think, oh, you know what? I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60. I love this presidential 2020 slate of Democratic candidates because they are so diverse, not just diverse from gender and race, but age. So when people tell me, I'm 40, I'm like, you know what? The man in the White House is 70 plus. Right. The leading candidates, on the Democratic, ticket are 70 plus. The Speaker of the House is, so there's so many examples of people living out, their passion and living their best lives. I was just telling my brother about, Maxine Waters. Oh, yeah. Hello. She's been out there for a long time, but the fact that she's now the darling of millennials. She's like, what? I'm like, hello. Yeah, Auntie Maxie is, that's about millennials, that she's resonating with.
Same with Bernie Sanders, same thing. Young folks love him.
Yeah.
He's old. He's old. Sorry, folks, he's old.
Yeah.
But young folks love him.
But go to one of his, rallies and look at the number of people that are 21, 22 years old. So that just says to me, age ain't nothing but a number.
And you're right. And I'm so glad you said it because I just feel like I do speaking too, and always saying it doesn't matter when you find it, just find it.
And then do something with it. Don't just find it.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Do something with it.
Yes. Because some people will talk things to death. and don't do nothing about it. I know English. I went to college, but I'm going to say it that way. They don't do nothing. Nothing. They don't do nothing about it.
And
they
keep talking about it and talking about it.
Well, one day I'm going to, one day, and then later on you're like, I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah, and then regrets, and they set in. And, again, that's why in the book I talk about, you don't have to have a lot of money. See, that's again the beauty.
Yes. Nowadays.
You got a computer. Hey, you got a smartphone.
Yes.
You can create so much that, used to cost a lot of money. When I started my law firm some years ago, if you wanted to reach people, you had to buy an ad. You had to go out and spend money on marketing and, go and copyright an ad. Now you just... start an account.
Self-publishing is big.
Everything.
You
upload
build
your
things.
Platform.
Right.
Go out and create content, and then you put that content out, in the universe, and people will come.
Yeah, you told that in the book, because that's another question that people say all the time. I don't have any money. I don't have enough money.
Yeah.
I'll wait till I get some money. It's like, I got to find some money. It's like, well, for some projects, yes. Yes, money does make the world go round, right?
We love money.
We love money. That's good. That's good. But it may, like you said, if you can record a podcast off your phone.
Yes.
And upload it yourself for free. But it's like you don't need money to start a podcast. You can do it for free. Yeah. Now, if you want other elaborate things, then you tack on some pricing.
But YouTube.
Right.
You start a YouTube channel.
Right.
Start putting videos on that channel, whether you're a chef or whether you're a hairstylist or a makeup artist or a fashion stylist. I mean, think about all the content you can create just on your own YouTube page. People start, teaching folks how to bake pies.
Right.
It's just amazing what people have been able to do. And those videos go viral. Those YouTube channels get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscriptions. And guess what? You're an influencer.
Yes. And now I read your books. I had part of these. Sorry, I dog-eared some of the pages, but I wanted to remember what I wanted to go to. One of the things that you talk about, which I think is important, especially for a lot of us who are some of us are a little older, the social media aspect.
Yes.
It is very important, isn't it, these days? You have to kind of be active.
Everything.
It is, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
Isn't it?
It's everything.
Okay.
It's not important. It's everything.
Okay.
And you got to embrace it. So I was talking to a friend of mine. We went to college together, best friends. She's thinking about changing jobs.
Okay.
And, I was asking her, so what are she doesn't have social media presence. I said, they're not going to look at your resume. They're going to your LinkedIn page. They're going to your Facebook account. They're going to check you out online. And if you don't have a presence, the question is, where have you been? What have you been doing? You don't really exist. I said, so the old school resume, although you need to send it, but that is not the parameter. That's not what people are looking at to check you out. You're being vetted by your social media presence. And she's like, she kind of resisted, and she, was
him and hawed probably.
Him and hawed, and was kind of cranky about it. But ultimately, she had to acknowledge that she had done the same as a manager when people had applied for jobs. She had checked them out. I said, hey, anybody I deal with, immediately, I'm checking them out. Yeah. I said, because, I'm going to find something out about them that resume is not going to tell me.
Yes. And it's about engagements.
Yeah.
It's about what are you doing while you're online? What are you retweeting? What are you liking? What are you talking to people? I noticed that because at first it was all about numbers. I remember for a while, first it was all about numbers. But they saw you can buy numbers.
Then everybody realized it's really not about the numbers. It's about the engagement. You're right. It's about having authentic conversations with people about things that you mutually have in common, and that's what distinguishes your presence on social from the ad that you would buy and put up on a billboard. The ad is like, look at me, I'm great. On social, people don't want to see that, look at me, I'm great. They want to see the authentic you. They want to engage with you. They want to talk to you. They want to learn something about you. And then I get a lot of times people say, well, I don't want to be that personal. I don't want people knowing all my business. I want to tell everybody what I'm doing every minute of the day. And I says, I get that. And you don't have to do that.
You don't.
You can control what you put out there. And people can get to know things about you without them knowing everything about you. So you can't escape it. You go to a party, guess what? Somebody's taking a picture and you're going to be on somebody's social media page. So you might as well control that image of yourself rather than allowing someone else to control it.
I'm glad you said it because I'm very much about having some separation. And I talk about my kids and grandkids. I talk about things on stuff, but I also do have a separation. I don't tell every single thing that's going on.
Yeah.
But you're right. I put enough on there, you get a sense of who James Lott Jr. is when you see him. That I'm a pretty authentic person who's really real, and I love my garden. I have my gardening pictures up there, so they get pieces of me.
Yeah, and there are ways to do that. Like
Right.
if you go to my social, you won't see a picture of my husband. I've been married for 20 plus years. But I don't post, because there are things that you have to decide what's going to be private.
Yeah.
And for me, it's my marriage, it's my relationship. I talk about the fact that I am married, and on the show, that's the running joke. Okay, I tell the couples on the show, you know what, I've been married for a long time. Let me give you some advice. But I don't make my, where we go and celebrate birthdays or, how we celebrate family events. Those aren't the things that I'm posting on social.
Right.
I'm posting more about the things that represent my professional brand, advocacy, things about, social justice issues, things about, women empowerment, the work I do on behalf of children and, children as a children's advocate. So, if you read my books, you follow me online, you're going to know a whole lot about me. You're going to know about my kids. I talk about them a lot. Yeah. I talk about growing up in the housing project. I talk about my grandmother and godmother. So I feel like you know enough that I can keep some things private. So.
As she should.
Yes.
Her business.
You gotta have something private.
For yourself. I want to switch gears a little bit because this actually leads to this because I wanted to ask you, because I've interviewed many analysts on different shows I do. What do you think makes a good TV legal analyst? Because you do a lot of different shows. You've been on so many different things, and you're on for that either 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, how long the segment is.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a good analyst?
I think, one, you got to do your homework. And I tell people, even for a 3-minute segment, I might spend 3 to 4 hours preparing.
Okay.
So you got to know your stuff because you don't know what questions are coming. Even if they send you questions in advance, the conversation may go a different way. And particularly if you're on a live breaking news show, they may have planned out an interview, and that whole plan gets thrown away because some breaking news just happened, and you're on set, and now they want to go to you about this story. So you've got to have a general knowledge of what's kind of going on in the world. So you got to do your homework. Okay. And don't think, a lot of times they'll send you one article, and you think, okay, I'll read that article.
That will be enough. No. Okay, got it.
You can't, you can't
rely
skip
on that.
The hard work involved. So one, I'd say do your homework. Two, you're a guest on somebody's show, and I'm sure you appreciate this. And when I host, and we've had to do this to people on our shows, this is Face the Truth, and we the host, it ain't your show. Mm-hmm. So you've got to respect the host.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can't overtalk the host. You've got to answer the questions that they ask you. You may have to pivot sometimes if you want to get a talking point in.
That's fine.
But you got to respect the host. And if you do that, you're likely to get invited back. Yes. It's like going to somebody's house. You're rude to the host. You're probably not going to get that invitation to come back.
That's true.
And that's important. And you've got to learn to talk in sound bites.
Yes.
That's the hardest part, I think, for lawyers and doctors and other professionals. That's not how we're trained, and that's not what we do in our daily lives as professionals. I mean, lawyers, the joke is we get paid by the words. So,
how funny. Oh my God, how funny.
The more words we have and the more words we write, that usually means we're smarter. So if I come to court and I got a big stack of papers, that's kind of like the intimidation move that lawyers make.
Funny.
So you ever go into court and you see lawyers with, boxes. It may be empty, but that's something we do.
I did not know that.
Okay. I got this case over here. I'm going to kick your butt. So TV's just the opposite.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and they'll tell you got 3 minutes for this segment. Yeah. And you'll be in your ear rapid. And you got to be able to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So you've got to learn to take all of this really, important, big information and, shrink it down to a soundbite that not the judge on the bench will understand, not the lawyer that, is your opposing counsel, but the person watching TV that's on their way to work, that's making breakfast for their kids, that's making dinner, and they're listening, but they're not, studying the TV. So you've got to make it so that even that person, can understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's succinct. There's a special cadence to talking on TV. I know this, obviously, I've been doing it for a long time. You have to kind of be a little upbeat and ready and jump in. And I noticed...
You got to say something in those 3 minutes. Yeah. And you can watch some people and you're like, okay, what did you do? Right. Did they say anything?
Right.
They just...
I saw one recently.
Yeah.
What show was I on?
There's a lady, and I'm not going to call her name. I have to turn it off because she
says... Say the name.
No, I can't.
Okay.
Because she's an African American woman, and this is Black Hollywood Live, and we support
We do.
African Americans on this show. So
we do.
And it's not race specific, so I don't want to suggest that. But there are people who just.
I saw somewhere they literally shouldn't have been on the show. They didn't add anything to the conversation. I've seen a few people just like they didn't add anything to the conversation. So I'm like, why did I just watch that? You didn't really say anything.
Yeah, no,
the other person said everything. You said nothing basically. I'm like,
and if you do it a lot,
yeah.
Sometimes you have more to say than other times.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And I know, I do live TV all the time. I've done thousands of hours of live television. And yeah, there's times when I've made mistakes or said something wrong or whatever. And it just kind of happens. I mean, it's life and it happens. But for the most part, like you, I'm prepared, I'm ready, and let's go. I got how much time? Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
And as long as you're well-rounded, I guess that's the best part. So if they throw you a curveball, you can catch that curveball.
And let me say something else that helps you. You got to have a point of view. Because that's ties into having a brand. Mm-hmm. So if you have a point of view about just kind of the world in general, even if you don't have the specific answer to a question because maybe you just hadn't heard about this story or you're just not up on it, you can usually take any question and come at it from your point of view. And that's really important. And you can tell the people that have worked on their points of views and people who don't have a point of view, and you want them to because people want to know your opinion.
Yes, they do.
They want to know the facts. So I'm asked to advise, is this legal or what's the legal strategy here? That's often the question that I'm asked I'm doing legal commentary.
I'm sure.
But they also want to know, what do you think about this? Mm-hmm. So that's your point of view. What are your thoughts? What do you think about these parents that have been charged, in this cheating scandal? What do you think about R. Kelly? What is your opinion on that? And you got to have an opinion. You can't be afraid to go there. With Twitter in particular, and some of the other social media sites, I think people get really timid, and they don't want to have a point of view because they want to be popular.
Well, I was going to ask you a question about that, about Black Twitter and stuff. How is Black? Because I'm on shows where I give my opinion too, and I've been raked over the coals for things. So how do you handle Twitter?
Hey, if you're going to have a platform, and my manager said to me, welcome to Hollywood.
Yep,
and
exactly.
if you can't take a little heat,
get out the kitchen.
Then
get out the kitchen.
You're in the wrong business. You got to get out of it. And
agree.
once you start to build a platform, there are going to be some people that agree with you, and there are going to be people who vehemently disagree with you, and they have no problems. And you're going to have people, I've been on shows where people take the time to go to my website, find my email, and write me and tell me they hate me. They wish I would die.
Oh, my God.
They call me every imaginable word from the B word to the C word.
Wow.
And then I have people that write me and tell me, oh, my God, I love you. Oh, my God, I just can't thank you enough for your point of view. Keep speaking the truth. Keep standing up. So you're going to get it both ways. And if you're not getting it both ways, you're probably out there not saying very much at all.
I like that point of view.
That's what having a point of view is about. Everybody's not going to agree with you.
Well, and the thing that you do, that I talk about here on the show too, we do talk about race. And you talk about race too a lot. And we have points of view that are similar. I noticed. I watch it. I am a fan. I am a fan of yours. About the disparity of treatment that African Americans get to our non-African counterparts. And I've gotten flack for it, of course. I'm sure you've gotten.
Yes, if I'm a civil rights lawyer and I talk about social justice issues, and race makes people uncomfortable in this country, whether it's President Obama talking about it, or Nancy Pelosi or Maxine Waters, or it's an uncomfortable topic in this country.
Do you think we'll ever in our lifetime? I mean, will never be post-racial. I don't believe in that thing, period. But do you think it'll ever become a comfortable topic? Probably not, will it?
I can't see it becoming a comfortable topic. What I hope it becomes is a topic that doesn't cause as much discomfort. I can see that happening with millennials in particular, because their approach to race, their approach to a lot of these taboo issues are very different. And I watch my daughter, and she has such a diverse group of friends, and how they address the race issue is totally different than older generations. So I think it will become a topic that people can talk about that doesn't cause so much angst. So that's what take gay rights, for instance. Think about that topic.
Yes, that too.
And now how prominent we or how more comfortable, and not to suggest that it's completely comfortable for everyone,
right.
but how more comfortable, how more easy, how easy it is, easier for us to have this conversation. And we have we have the mayor of Chicago.
Right.
She's a University of Chicago graduate, go UFC. So that picture of her kissing her partner, was plastered over every magazine, newspaper, and that woman, Mayor Lightfoot, won that election, openly gay, African-American woman,
It can happen.
It can happen. And now we have Mayor Pete,
Pete Buttigieg. He's doing his thing.
Buttigieg, who is taking on the issue of,
the presidency. And he's a veteran.
He's a veteran.
So he's breaking down the stereotypes of, like, what you think a gay person is.
Yes, absolutely. And he's talking openly about the issues of homosexuality.
Yeah, yes.
He just gave a speech the other night, talking about, hey, if you got issues with me, you better talk to my creator, because I didn't have anything to do with this,
He said he believes in God, too. He said he believes in God. So, I mean, that's the whole thing.
He believes in God. He talks a lot about his faith.
Right.
So I think we are making progress on a lot of these really big societal issues. And like I said, I think the next generation and even, the younger kids coming up are going to think about them and talk about them and deal with them really differently.
I can talk to you forever. Time's going too fast. Slow down time. I want to keep it re-rated for like 2 hours. So I want to talk about it's Autism Awareness Month, as everybody knows. And as many of you guys know, 2 weeks ago we had the Chronicles Jessica Wu on here, and I just actually told about the show off camera.
I'm so excited about that.
Yes, it's going to be really great.
Check it out.
Go check it out. It's coming out this month, and it's a great series, second season. The lead character is biracial, and she has autism. She's a superhero. So you want to make sure you check that out. So now for you, you've had a book. You wrote a book about autism, and you have a son with autism.
And I have a foundation. Yes, so I wrote a book called The Everyday Advocate. After my son was diagnosed, I just had a really, really difficult time accessing services for him.
Wow.
And I didn't like what I saw in some of the underserved communities in LA County. I didn't like the disparities of services that families got, the lack of information, the lack of access to high quality medical care. And it wasn't just African Americans, it was Latinos, it was other ethnic groups, and so ethnic minorities. And I started a foundation called Special Needs Network, and this foundation's been in existence for 11 years. We have served over 50,000 families. We've been involved in statewide legislation. We have boots on the ground training parents how to, raise their voices, how to be advocates for their own parents. We do a lot of services, from free summer camps to actual in-home intervention therapies. We're building this amazing autism center on the campus of MLK Hospital.
Okay.
I've had the opportunity to, be involved at the national level, providing input on how even the federal government can better serve underserved communities where you have individuals with autism. So Autism Awareness Month, this is a month where we raise awareness to promote acceptance, to teach people that people with autism are just like you, they're just like me, they're people that are hardworking, they're smart, they want to be active members in their communities. So this month we get to do that. We do a lot of free events. We have a couple.
Tell them.
Yeah, so on April 13th we have a free fun day. We're going to take kids and their parents to a park, Kennethon Park in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, I know that is. Great park.
And we're going to have a 5K walk run. We're going to do some fun activities. We're going to have a bunch of health screenings and some other resources available. And then at the end of the month, on the 27th, Saturday the 27th, we're going to do a full day of workshops and, resources to families to help them learn how to advocate, how to become advocates for their kids at school, in the healthcare system, and just provide parents with lots of free resources. So that's 2 big events. You can go to our website, specialneedsnetwork.org, and get our calendar of events for the month of April. We're going to be at First AME Church Sunday, the last Sunday in the month, raising awareness, because faith-based organizations can play a really big role in breaking down the stereotypes and helping families feel comfortable to seek diagnoses and to get the intervention services. So I started Special Needs Network going into Black churches and talking to parents and really getting them to access the services that were available. So we know in the Black community, the Black church is everything.
Right. No, right. So I was saying, very smart of you. I mean, that's what you be doing. Because here's the thing. I think you said something a second ago. I'm really glad you said about the acceptance, because the autism spectrum is wide also, and so there's different. Not everybody who's autistic is not the same.
Yes.
So it's a very wide
spectrum disorder.
Yeah. So it's very wide. So you may know somebody who has you don't even know.
Yes.
And you're thinking, oh, they're a little weird, or this. Like, no, that's not it. They're not weird. They're not crazy. They have autism.
And they're not sick. Let's dispel that myth. They're not sick, and it's really important that you did bring that up, because you could be sitting next to someone who on your job who's on the spectrum, but they're your coworker. They may have some awkwardness about their social skills. They may not be able to read social cues. Their language may be a little awkward, but they're lovable, likable people, and we just want people to accept them and understand. Just like we are inclusive in this country and our society with people from all backgrounds. People with autism, we want to be included in our great big melting pot as well.
So I want to ask you, as we're getting lower in time, I want to ask you, because you are first and foremost, you are a legal person. Is our system broken, or is just parts of it broken? Like our legal system, is it really good? Are there good stuff set in place, and just there's broken parts, or is the system just broken altogether, in your opinion?
No, I think our system, the foundation of our system is solid. Okay. And that's one of the things that Congressman Cummings talked about in his speech, is that our democracy works when the people in our democracy, make it work. So it only works as well as the people, who are leading it. And our criminal justice system, our justice system, absolutely, jury of your peers, Fifth Amendment rights not to incriminate yourself, Eighth Amendment, right not to be exposed to cruel and unusual punishment. All the makings of a great justice system are there, but we just have to make sure that system works equally for all people, and that we don't have two systems of justice, one for the affluent and one for the non-affluent people. And that's what we're struggling with in this country. How do we make this justice system work? Yes. So there's not celebrity justice, and there's not wealth justice, and that's why in California we eliminated the bail system. That was one of the big issues. So the bail system says, hey, James, if you commit a crime and I set your bail at $1 million, and through the bail system you have to put up 10%, you got $100,000 in the bank. Guess what? You walk out. If I'm poor and I get that same $1 million bail and I don't have that $100,000, I sit in jail waiting trial. And the difference is you can go to your lawyer's office, you can help with your defense, you can go get a job and build references. So when you get to your court case, everyone can say glowing things about you. But guess what? Your neighbor, your neighbor across the track on the other side of the track has been sitting in jail. So they've been disadvantaged by that system, not because you're better inherently, just because you have more money. And there's something inherently unfair about that. So that's why there's been this big push to do away with the bail system, because it does disadvantage poor people. So, I mean, things like that can make our system better, can make our system more just and more equitable.
Well, I bring it up because right now with that scandal, people are seeing directly seeing class. They're seeing celebrity versus non-celebrity. There's a lot of things going on that are not just race right now. It's like you said.
This is money. This is and I went to an Ivy League college, and I just saw some report that some of these Ivy League schools, a third or more of their admissions are through legacy students. So legacy students means your father went there, your mother went there, your grandfather. So you have some leg up. And I think what shook us about the college scam is we already know if you're wealthy, you can make a huge donation. You can have a building, with your father or mother's name on it. You can endow a chair for a professor. There's so many legal ways that you can get a leg up. But, once we get into bribery, and submitting, false applications and people taking exams for you and cheating on these standardized tests, that's the line, that was crossed, that I think incensed people all over this country, wealthy and non-wealthy people alike. Says, well, wait a minute. These wealthy kids already have so many advantages. So, now to have the added advantage of being able to go through, as Rick Singer himself said, the side door. That's what made the whole scandal, I think so
too.
Just so
I agree with
outrageous.
You on that. I agree with you on that. So, okay. I can talk to you for. You just have to sit down with me again another time. You're great. I'm so glad you came on the show.
Well, thank you. It's great to see you doing what you're doing and giving voice to so many people. I love that you had Zane on talking about his superhero series. So not only do we get autism in the media, we get African American woman, we get African American producers. So that's just great on so many levels.
I know. Yes. Now I ask my guests the same 2 questions at the end of every show.
Okay.
And so now it's your turn. Okay. And you're a lawyer, so you probably understand this. I believe language is very important. And so sometimes language can stump us and stunt our growth, but also language can empower us and make us fly and have wings. So in the English language, what word or phrase, I open up the phrase, do you think we should not say anymore?
Ooh, not say anymore.
I should get rid of it.
The N-word.
Okay, yes. And what is your reasoning behind that?
Because even though it's acceptable or been made acceptable in certain, lyrics and songs, trying to explain to people outside of the African American community why it's okay for us to use the word in our community, but not okay for them. The logic on that gets really twisted, gets really confusing. So, you know what? Some words, let's just find another word. Just do away with it.
I agree with that. I do. I'm tired of that thing. Well, we can say it, you can't. At this point,
it just gets...
Yeah, it gets muddied.
Yeah, very.
Yes. Now, what word or phrase should we say more of in the English language?
Ooh, we should say more of, you're okay.
Oh, I like that.
You're okay. I'm okay. You're okay. Mm-hmm. And that's acceptance.
It is.
Just acknowledging that you're okay just the way that you are. You don't have to be any more. You don't have to be any better. You don't have to be any wealthier. You don't have to be any more. You're just okay. You're okay. And in a positive way that we're all okay.
And I think especially, everybody should hear this, of course, but I think especially in our black community, we should hear it more too, that our black men, our black boys, our black girls, our dark-skinned girls, our light-skinned, everybody should feel like you're okay.
And you can put a twist on that to be, you're enough.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah, you're enough. Just the way you are enough. I just watched the HBO movie Native Son.
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I'm not going to... No spoiler
Okay,
alert.
yes. I want to see it.
It's a movie where I just wanted to grab the young man, the character, big, and say, you're enough.
Yeah. I read the book, of course. But I want to see them. I want to see it.
Check out the movie.
Okay,
it's good. Good acting. Great acting.
See? I love it. Areva, you're the best.
Yes, thank you, James.
Her books Make It Rain. Go out and get it. It's everywhere. Yes. Go out and get it. And you'll see her on all kinds of things. She's on Face the Truth, of course, is going to come back, I'm sure. And
yes, fingers crossed. Season 2 on Face the Truth.
Yes, but you'll see her on... Now you know who she is. You'll be popping up, and you'll see her popping up on different things on being a legal analyst. But tell folks in that camera over there where they can find you on social media and your organization.
Yes, find me everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Areva Martin. That's AREVA Martin, Martin. Go to my website, arevamartin.com. You can find my book there. You can find my book, Make It Rain, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Check it out if you're trying to find your voice and grow your platform. I think there's some great tips in there for you to do so. And if you know of anyone who has a family member with autism or developmental disability and they're struggling, they're looking for family, they're looking for network, they're looking for resources, have them check out Special Needs Network. We're an organization based in Los Angeles, but we have a national reach. We have tons of resources, and we just want African American kids, Latino kids, all kids, no matter what your race, your ethnicity. We want all kids with autism to live their best lives, and we're going to bat for those kids each and every day. We put boots on the ground for the autism community, and we want kids to grow up and thrive.
Yes, definitely. And you guys, you can follow us on Facebook. It's Breaking Into on Facebook. We're on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, under Black Hollywood Live. Breaking Into, bunch of great episodes, including this one will be up there too. So you can listen to us on iTunes or watch us. Should I say watch us? Because we're good-looking people. And watch us on YouTube. You can watch us and go ahead and when you're there, like, subscribe, comment, say something. You want something to say to her? Say it on there, and I'll pass it on to her, and she'll see if she answers you back. No. But go ahead and follow us there, and all the great programs we hear at Black Hollywood Live. I'm James Lott Jr., of course, and you can follow me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold on social media at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. It's everywhere. I made it so easy for you. And I have a new book out today. It's called Becoming a Heartie. It's for the When Calls to Heart series on Hallmark. It just got released today on Amazon.
Wow,
Kindle, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's on Kindle and on regular and Amazon. Go out there and get it if you want to read some behind-the-scenes dish on how I do the show and how I like the show and different things that are going on there. It's right there. And all my music I do is on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify. It's all over the place, everywhere. Just go ahead and type in James Lott Jr. You'll find it everywhere you gotta go. But everyone, affect change in the world, lift each other up, share knowledge. I dedicate this episode to Nipsey Hussle, who passed away recently, around the corner from my house, actually. So my neighborhood has been lit this whole time.
Yeah.
Helicopters, police cars. But I'm seeing our community come together, actually, and they're trying to really work that out. And I feel so warm inside to see my folks coming together and realizing what great work he did in my neighborhood, literally in my neighborhood.
I did a project with him, and he's a inspiring. He was an inspiring, not just rapper, but entrepreneur and social justice advocate. That's what I'm going to call him.
Yes, a senseless tragedy. So absolutely. I want to dedicate the show to him and to anybody out there who's affecting change in the world. I'm James Lott Jr., and we'll see you next time.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.